I'm Eric Hazard, CEO of Esther Ventures. I'm joined today by Esther Veenhuizen, Director of Marketing for Financial Services at Protiviti. Esther, welcome, and thank you for joining me today.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Eric.
It's a busy time in the markets right now. What are some of the most common internal marketing questions that you're receiving right now?
Yeah, so first of all, it's obviously about the safety and health of our employees, our clients, and our vendors, basically our ecosystem, everyone we work with. So the main questions are kind of the policy and the measures we're taking to make sure and to ensure the safety and health of everyone, following guidance from obviously the official health authorities globally and nationally. And so what does that mean really for the employees, for the teams, for the clients, and making sure anything around travel, around working from home, working remotely, and how to respond from client requests, etc., to make sure that everyone knows what they're supposed to do.
And how should companies be thinking about marketing to an internal audience right now? What best practices do you have to offer?
So I think it's really about frequent communications right now. Obviously, a lot has happened over the past couple of weeks. We don't know really how long this is going to take, so we don't really have a control, obviously, over the duration, about the extent of the impact, obviously very global. So frequent communications and at the right level of detail, I think, is very important. There's a lot that we're doing daily from a monitoring perspective. Our executive team is talking on a daily basis. If anything changes wherever in the world, how we need to respond respectively, we'll do that. So then you communicate again and you have to update kind of those changes and be very clear on how that changed versus previous communication. So we're doing that over email still. That's, I guess, the most effective way of doing that. We have an intranet site with all the information there. We have an employee hotline, and then obviously there are conference calls and other meetings happening, virtual meetings happening to address specific measures or specific issues.
Protiviti is in the business of business continuity, if you will. How do you strike that balance in your marketing communications where you want to advise your clients, but you also don't want it to come off as too self-referential?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've been in the business of risk management, internal controls, internal audit, resilience, security, and transformation since inception, so more than 18 years. So it's very natural to our DNA, and everything we do with our client. Obviously, consulting is all based on trust and relationship-based models, so it's really important that we keep an eye on our client and a pulse on what they're going through, what they need. So it's not that we're issuing advertising or anything around these topics, but more having direct and close communications with the client. We're helping them with a lot of regulatory needs and risk management already. So if this is impacting their business specifically and in a very different way, we're talking to them on what they need. And obviously from a digital and virtual perspective, how we can work remotely with them versus in person, and kind of trying to do business as usual from a remote location if possible. So that's kind of how we're addressing it right now.
We've covered a lot of ground today. We've gone through communications, channels, business continuity, and thinking about all of that. What's the single most important thing that businesses should keep in mind right now?
I think it's really, again, the safety and health of everyone and seeing how this will play out over the next couple of weeks and months. And then it's really, frequent communications. People need to understand what they really need to comply with, how they have to follow, and where they can go if they have any questions, right? If things change in the situation. And then I think that's not the single one, but the other piece is really to support those affected. I think there is a lot happening, obviously, in hospitality sector and in other sectors. So if something happens to your employees or clients or the community, how can we help them?
Very good. Esther, thank you so much for your time today. And thank you for joining us. There'll be more information available on Vested's YouTube page.